ready. It's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com. Thanks for stopping by today. Now I've been looking around my craft room trying to find supplies that I could use up in some of the projects that I do. And one of those supplies that I wanted to use up this time was this. Now these are chipboard tags, and I had purchased them at Michael's, and this box was $5. And these are thick chipboard and white on the back, and they have different patterns on the front. And I got this box of 60 for $5. It is a hot buy. Then sometimes they'll have it for 70% off, which would make it $6, and sometimes they'll have it just for a $5 doorbuster. And these are some really pretty designs. In this one, they're florals and butterflies. Let me go ahead and turn it this way and see if you can see the little ones. Yeah, they have some florals and some butterflies in that one. But if you don't like the florals and the butterflies, they also have some which have crystals on them, or some with constellations. And you can look for the patterns which appeal to you. Or if you have them in your stash, that's even better, because then you can use them up, because this is the project that I created today. And it's just a cute little tag box. So out of pattern paper that coordinated with what the tag I picked, I made a little open top box that would match. I stamped and punched out a sentiment, used some embellishments that I had, tied it together with a ribbon, and I even punched a shape for the back of them as a tag. This one's a butterfly, retired punch from Stampin' Up! And I think that one turned out very pretty. Now, I wanted to do a more masculine example as well, and this was the only tag in there that I would consider to be masculine in this set. Most of them had the butterflies and the flowers, but some of the other tag boxes they had do have ones which have more masculine feel to them, or a more neutral feel to them. But what I did for this one is I used a wood grain paper, and I punched out a sentiment that said reach for the stars, and punched out some stars and scattered them around the sentiment. And I think this would make a really nice one for graduation, or for a more masculine type of little gift. Now the box itself measures 2.5 inches wide by 1.25 inches deep, and the height of it goes up to the shoulder of the tag, and that's 3.25 inches. Now, if you don't have a tag, I have measured it, and it's actually 2.75 inches wide, 4.25 inches tall. So if you start with a heavy-duty piece of cardstock, that's 2.75 by 4.25, and actually you don't need to measure to make it exact. You can just cut one corner off and then use this piece for the template for the other one to make it even. But if you want it to be exact, just measure 7/8 of an inch down and 5/8 of an inch over, and then just cut that triangle off. And that will be exactly the same measurement as the tags I'm using. But as I said, you don't have to be exact, especially as the shoulder part of it. So for today, I'm going to use these tags, and I think it's a really pretty floral. It would be really nice for Mother's Day, but I'm using it for just an encouragement one. So I'll use these two tags, and I need a piece of pattern paper that is 8 inches by 4.5 inches. And this one's from Stampin' Up! It's a Blushing Bride, because I think it matches the pinks in the tag. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and put the 8-inch side up, and we're going to score it at 2.5, 3.75, 6.25, and 7.5. Okay, turn it to the side, and if there's a pattern that's directional, the top should be to the right. And we're going to score it at 1.25 inches. All right, so let's fold and burnish our score lines. Okay, so we have 2 large sections, 2 smaller sections, and a 1/2 inch section on the side, and that's going to be our glue tab. And we do not need the bottom portion of that, which is the 1.25 inch section. So let's go ahead and cut that. We can cut that at an angle because it's right next to the tab, and slightly cut that one off at an angle. And I'm just going to very slightly cut an angle at the top too. Alright, so let's go ahead and free up our tabs. So on this score section right next to there, we're going to go ahead and cut a little notch into the square, and we're going to try to cut up a little bit straighter on the rectangle portion of that score line. Same with this one. So now let's go ahead and put it together. So I'll put a strip of adhesive down on the tab, and I'm using the Tombow Extreme. And we'll fold that one over, and we'll fold this other one over to meet it, and make sure we line up the bottom score line and along the top. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do to make it encourage to fold a little better is at this point I'm just going to meet this fold line with this fold line and just pinch around the top. And the same on the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue our bottom together. And this is my seam. So this is the back, so the front will be glued last. So I'll put a strip of adhesive on that. And we'll put the sides in, the bottom in, and the front back. Okay, so you can see it's just a very simple open top, I guess a little bag more than a box, but we're going to go ahead and glue it onto our tags now. So take one of your tags and we'll flip that over, and I'm using wet glue with this one because it will help me wiggle it around and get it into the right spot. So go ahead and put glue on one of the sides of the bag and pay particular attention to the sides and the bottom too, and along the top. And we're going to flip that over, and we're just going to line it right up along the bottom. You can go slightly in if you want it to stand up a bit. But just make sure your sides are even. See, that side is even in that one, and make sure that the bag is parallel to the side of the tag. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the other one. Okay, then I'll go ahead and just stand it up to make sure I stand up straight, and go ahead and burnish those down a bit. All right, so isn't that so sweet? Now if you'll notice, I did go just a very scant bit above the tag bottom, so you have just a little bit of a border, so it stands up just a little bit, but it's not, it doesn't like really suspend it. And you can see you close it down and tie the top. So go ahead and fill it with what you want at this point, and we'll close it down. And we're going to put a ribbon on that. Okay, so we see when I tied the first one, I kind of tipped the bow towards the front so it would sit in the front. And now you can just put any sentiment you want. And what I did was I stamped "Live Life in Full Bloom." And I punched it out with a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I used a 2-inch scalloped circle punch to just punch a little background. And this is a triple leaf punch from Stamping Up. And you could put it on dimensionals, but I'm just going to go ahead and stick to the front for now. And I think that's rather pretty. On the back, I'm just going to go ahead and place a little tag. I just punched out a flower punch that I had, and this is the pansy punch retired. And I'm just going to use that one for a to and from tag, and simply tie it to the back of my bow. So there's a pretty little tag on the back, and this is how it looks on the front. And you can fit some tea bags in there, or some small jewelry, some treats, or even a gift card. But I think it's a very sweet way to use up some of the supplies in your stash. Here, let me bring my other ones back in. So I hope you enjoy the project and give it a try. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to be notified of new videos as I post them. For more information on this project or others that I've done, please visit rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!